Hey, what's up, guys? Wanted to talk a little bit here about some of the things that we saw here in this game this morning and some of the opportunities for second guessing that we have. I know that I do this pretty frequently. Let's go over to this view instead. I know that I do this pretty frequently after some of these games. Some of them just are too exciting and too much for me to just sort of pass off. Kind of want a little bit of a post-game show. In this particular one, I mean, there's 24 hits between both teams combined, and there were a couple of interesting moments in this one. I would say that the real big highlight, at least for Cincinnati, was Billy Campbell, who not only pitched a good 11 innings, holding the Giants to only 4 runs, only 2 of which were earned, overcoming those 5 walks, but he was also 2 for 4 at the plate and scored a run. Did an excellent job. Of course, for the Giants, you have more than your fair share of heroes. Probably Larry Doyle's the big one with his 3 hits. And I mean, it's just really remarkable game here by the Giants lineup. They keep getting base hits like there's no tomorrow. And that's sort of the way that this one was. What we want to look at here, though, I don't have a computer manager to blame. I wanted to look back here at some of those big moments in this game, as you'll recall. I mean, the Giants, so of course, they got 2 in the top of the 6th and then 2 more in the top of the 7th. And then we got that home run from Kane. And then when we got to the 9th inning, that's where it was interesting. Bresnahan with the walk. And then that wild pitch by Donlin, or I'm sorry, the wild pitch by the pitcher, whoever it was at the time, sent Bresnahan to second with Donlin up there. Then we walked Donlin. Now, he would have rolled a 33 for a 0. He would have had an extra base hit that would have won the game likely right there had we not walked him. That's your first part of second guessing, which is, I mean, was it right for us to walk Mike Donlin in that place, right, and instead pitch to Art Devlin? Devlin then came up with runners on first and second, and the question was, well, should he bunt or swing away? And I decided to have him swing away. We go back and look at the box score here. You can see the Giants ended up not bunting successfully at all during the game. The Reds did twice, and so there's a chance that maybe I should have bunted a little bit more with New York. I just have a hard time with this lineup telling guys to bunt. It feels weird, right? It's kind of hard to get into that mindset. Even if you're playing for a run, you've already got a guy in scoring position. I mean, you're just giving up an out, right? Fred Tenney in the end did not get a base hit anyway. It didn't really make that much of a difference. Then in the bottom of the 9th, the Reds are the ones who exercised the bunt, but it did nothing as Mitchell and Holsworth both made an out. We go down here to the next big question. I think it comes right around this period of time here, I think, where you had the runner on at first. And the question was, do we leave Campbell in or pinch hit for him? And we do, but we then bunt with the pinch hitter who rolls a 25, which would have been a 9, which I believe, if I recall correctly, would have been a base hit. And so you kind of live by the bunt and you die by the bunt, and that's kind of what 1908 is all about, right? You want to play the game realistically, and you want to make sure that you're bunting enough, but at the same time, it needs to make sense, right? You don't want to necessarily go up there and just bunt every time there's somebody on base because that's way too much. You're going to overload it, right? You have to bunt, and you have to sort of bunt wisely, and that's what makes it such a difficult game. In the end, of course, the Giants end up with the air, and as you'll see, one of the reasons why you don't bunt a lot is because they get a bunch of hits and then a bunch of walks, and that's the thing that scores the 2 runs, including the relief pitcher Tozer walking in the second run. And then Bresnahan being caught stealing home. There's got to be like a pickoff play or something when you're thinking about that, because there's no way that he has a stray steal of home with the bases loaded up by 2 in the top of the 12th. And so there you go, and that was your game. But that's really kind of the big question to ask, which is, I mean, 2 different things. Number one, is it right to take out the pitcher? I mean, even though it's the 11th inning, right? Or the, where were we? Right here. If you're going to bunt with a guy anyway, right? And then the second question is, was it actually right to bunt in this situation with Mike Donlin, or in this situation in the bottom of the 11th with Morey? I mean, Morey gets a base hit. Donlin would get an extra base hit, right? And the extra base hit for Donlin would have scored the runner easily and would have probably ended the game earlier. So, I mean, you can't win them all. You have them one way or the other, but that's what second guessing is about. And pretty interesting stuff. Hope you've enjoyed this, and love to know down below what your thoughts are. Talk to you later. Bye.